So happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays. Day after Christmas, Monday, December 26th. A little bit of scheduling conflicts for this
Way
episode.
more than a little bit. You might be
Everett,
wondering.
Everett, what went down over the past little more than 24 hours?
So you might one
30
might
hours.
why my camera, some boo boo cheeks. Why I probably sound like I'm talking out of a car muffler. Um, so I'm in New Orleans now. I'm back because we leave tomorrow for the Cotton Bowl. Um, my flight to come here today got canceled last night. Got completely rerouted. So I've been flying for about
How long?
12 hours now, 14 hours. I just got back.
Solid.
Uh, Missing a bag. That happened to have my webcam and microphone in, among some
Yeah, all
other
the
stuff.
recording equipment, right?
And literally everything that I need for our podcast. Literally
Didn't leave the
everything.
laptop in there though. That was
Now I
smart.
do have the laptop. That one was smart, but I lost all
That
that.
could
And
have
you can
gone
see
bad.
back. You can see back here the explosion going on in my room, and that's because I have to be
I
up
mean,
in
we keep it 100
6
over here at
hours.
the Waterboy Pod. We don't
Yeah, I
lie to
gotta
you
be up in
guys.
6 hours.
You literally got home and we immediately started recording.
No, like you think he's joking, but he is dead serious.
Yeah, I mean, also it was great timing that the Bolts happened to wrap up the second half in no bullshit, Everett, 48 minutes, 49 minutes.
I think
I actually think they
you
finished the
wish
second half
you
in
wish that
50 minutes, maybe.
you wish you went to that game now instead of the last one.
No, because last week was so exciting seeing the final drive. It was exhilarating. It like the one thing though, it would have been a much more stress-free night going to this one 100%. But I live for those moments, Everett. And I think you do too. You also happen to go to a pretty exciting football game over the weekend with another walk-off field goal win. So I think you know what it's like to experience walk-off field goals live. So
Both fortunately and unfortunately,
so
yes.
you're 1-1 on the year.
I am 1-1 on the year. The
I'm
just
one
so
to know.
happens that the first game that the two games I went to were both NFC beast teams, and split those games even, and one of them just happened to be the worst loss in
I mean,
franchise
the good thing is
history.
next week, my boys, we got, I think it's technically at Rams, but it's Chargers Rams.
So
So
it's the home game.
yeah.
So
Well,
there's
okay.
actually somehow there's
Wait,
more
wait a
Chargers
second.
than
Quick comment. Preseason was technically my first game at SoFi ever, but it was preseason Rams Chargers. Okay. When I was at the game, though, I'd say 90, 10, 80, 20 Rams Chargers fans. There were so many more Rams and Chargers.
I don't know about now since the Rams are so bad.
No. That's what I was thinking. But even with that being said, I still think it might be like a 60-40 Chargers Rams. Like, I don't think it'll be that bad. So when I was at Chargers Titans about a week ago, about a week ago when I was at the game, it was no bullshit 90-10 Chargers Titans fans. Like
Really, like they showed
I've
out.
never seen Big
It was
Blue.
like the
Well, we're
stadium
not Big Blue, but I've never seen the Powder Blues show out like that ever. I don't even know if we're fucking Powder Blues, but I've never seen this blue show up like the Bolt
You know
Blue.
what jersey? Like the Chargers have some really clean jerseys. I love them. But you know what my favorite jersey is? The black one that the Chargers have. The black jersey the Chargers have.
You mean the dark navy? We don't have a black.
Are you sure? Is it dark navy? Either
Last
way,
week they were repping the dark navy.
those are clean. Those are pretty clean.
No, yeah,
Uh,
Chargers. They got nice uniforms. When they
we
want to whip
do
the nice ones out.
we do also have a little holiday surprise for all you avid Waterboy listeners or watchers or TikTokers, whatever floats your boat. We'll be
Do
having
we
a
know?
live in person, not live, but in person together episode next week.
Yeah, we will be
Right.
getting together for the Cotton Bowl kickoff, of course. It's kind of magical how preseason everything's lining up. Like we've said on this podcast, it all started with us predicting the Warriors winning in 6. Ever since then, everything we've been projecting has just been turning into gold. Well, I think we joked like week 8 of the college football season, USC versus Tulane in the Cotton Bowl. Like literally got the bowl game right too. Literally nailed it all on the head.
Yeah, that
and it's happening.
We had Chargers making the playoffs, Vikings making the playoffs.
Well, I'm not sure if you had Chargers make the playoffs, but I did. And that's okay. I'm not going to fault you for that. I mean, Chargers sucked ass when it was week 6.
We were both really high on the Chargers. We thought they were the best team in the AFC West. Both of us thought they were the best team in the AFC West preseason.
You know what? I like you doubling down on your takes. I do like you standing up for my boys. Now that we made the playoffs, it's a little easier to stand on that claim. You know, I'm not gonna lie. For a second, I thought to myself, "Hey, we were 8-6 last year, and we didn't make the playoffs. Shit might happen again." So you know,
Trevor Lawrence becoming the second coming of Peyton Manning. It is what it is. Prophecies come true.
Yeah. And who would have thought all the things that were going to happen this year? But what a weekend of sports! What a weekend of NFL. Christmas isn't an NBA thing anymore. Of course, the NFL took it over. Weren't even entertaining NFL games, and I was still watching the Rams Broncos Nickelodeon stream over like Grizzlies Warriors, like a fucking great basketball game. I'm still watching Broncos Rams.
I asked you if you wanted to go and get up to some stuff, and you responded with after the Nick game. Let me finish the Nickelodeon.
I mean, the Nickelodeon game was banging, and I had to lock in. I'm not going to bring up any fantasy purposes because I was just eliminated from my fantasy league after Gerald Everett did not get a single target tonight, but that's all right. You know what? That's all right. I never formally announce it, but there was a period of time this year where something so despicable and disgusting occurred in our fantasy league that it just lost my will and drive to play fantasy. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I think this is the perfect topic to start off the podcast with. But I think it's about time to, you know, do the intro and shit. We've kind of taken a second to do that part ever, but all right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today it is episode number 77. What a weekend of sports. Christmas. I hope all of our listeners, hope all the Waterboy fanatics enjoyed their Christmas weekend. I know all of us over here at the Waterboy Podcast had a very nice Christmas. Especially Ever with all of his traveling. I know he really loved it the most, but we're not here to discuss me and Everett's personal lives. I know none of you guys care about that. I don't even care about Everett's personal life. We're only here to talk about football. All right, Everett. So just touching on what we were just talking about, fantasy football, something so despicable occurred in one of our leagues that I can't even look at some of these people in the eyes anymore whenever I see them. So I just want to lead. I want to start off asking you this. So I ask you all this. I ask you this. How scumbag is it to combine teams with another person fantasy when both of you have awful teams? So you combine your rosters together, split the winning pool together, and just combine your teams. How big of a scumbag move is that? Because in my opinion, that's arguably the worst thing you can do as a person.
Don't forget one of those individuals didn't even put money into the pot.
Oh, exactly. We're not even going to bring that part up either. That's another bannable offense right off the bat. If you don't pay, you don't play. But I digress. Just the fact of seeing your team at week 8, looking at the projections, you're projected to finish in fucking 6th place. And you call up another dude and say, let's combine teams. Oh, no, straight to hell. Yes, Satan has a word with you for doing that shit. That's the only thing I can say. There's nothing more. I've been using the word despicable a lot, and I'm trying to think of a more grown-up word that express a lot of disgust towards someone. Can you think of something?
Abysmal?
That works. I can't think of something more abysmal, something more disgusting than that. It's just, it speaks on the lack of character that these people have. It speaks on the lack of heart. And most of all, it speaks on the lack of trust and integrity of this fantasy football league to combine teams with someone and then proceed to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs.
That's what makes it even more funny, though.
That's what makes me not
That made
that
it
mad
funny.
about it. But if they won that first round of the playoffs, oh man. Oh wow. Would there have been conversations, let me tell you. But you know what? They didn't win in the first round, so it's slightly better.
Yeah, the Waterboy League will be going under some deep talks in the off season this year to make some adjustments, some league adjustments.
Yeah, I think we just got to pick up some more Tulane football players. I think those guys
But can't be doing that. Can't.
one of the culprits may or may not be affiliated with the Tulane football team. But hey, that's all I got to say about it. If you combine teams with somebody, you're a scumbag and you suck nuts.
I want to say that happened because they were salty after two individuals in our league conducted a trade in which they deemed unfair, even though
and it wasn't even that they deemed it unfair. They were just upset that they weren't involved in the trade because they wanted to be in the trade. That was literally why they went on a tirade to ruin the league, even though they got bounced in the first round and didn't end up ruining the league. But okay, I think that's enough about fantasy football talk. Nobody cares about your fantasy football league. I understand. I have a quick comment on college football, Everett. I'm not sure if you got to see the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl between Louisiana and Houston on Friday.
A little bit of it, but not actually that much.
So I'm not touching on the game at all. I actually have zero comment on the game itself. I am pretty sure Houston won, but Houston is the greatest sideline hype man of all time. His name is Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk.
He has a mullet. Hawk has also shown tape on how to perfectly execute picking up the tee on kickoff. He had a phenomenal dive, phenomenal dolphin dive execution straight out of Black Ops 1. His form picking up the tee, running back to the sidelines. He also does a barrel roll once getting back on the sidelines to hype up the team. You can't ask for a better sideline man than Hawk. Everett, why aren't you the sideline man for Tulane?
It's a good question. That's a good question.
I understand Hawk has set a high standard on what it means to be the tee picker upper on kickoff. But Everett, what do you have to do to get to that position?
Well, okay, so Hawk, I've met Hawk, by the way. Great dude.
Okay.
Great
dude. Oh yeah, so Tulane, you guys actually matched up against Houston, beat them earlier this year, but
I have met him.
I mean, actually, fuck anything that you're about to say. If you know something about Hawk, why don't you let our viewers know a little deep Waterboy analytics insight on Hawk? You guys must have had like lunch or something. Must have got that great Houston barbecue together.
No, unfortunately, we did not order Houston barbecue because for whatever reason we decided to get pre-made sandwiches for our dinner.
Yeah, not sure if Hawk's gonna approve of that one, but we'll
that
talk
also
to
gets
my
my
athletic department.
That get my stamp of disapproval as well. The only interaction I had with him, he came over asking if we were equipment. He wanted to get some of the Tulane swag. He knew that the Tulane train was already leaving the station that year, and he was trying to hop on it.
So, I mean, we can instantly just say that Hawk has great taste. That's the first takeaway that we have on Hawk. Great taste.
He was repping, like the dad fishing glasses, like the sport.
Oh yeah.
He was repping a pair of those too.
Yeah, no, he embodies the spirit of college football. Like Hawk, I hope gets a lifetime job with the Houston Cougars. I hope he's their kickoff tee retriever for life. There's no one who does it as good as him.
The way that it works is
this is actually a dark day for the AAC. Now that Hawk has gotten this spotlight and they're leaving the conference, this is awful for the Athletic.
It's a dark day. It's a sorrowful day, but the way it normally works is
it's great for you, less competition. Don't get me wrong, but
it's not my duty. It's not my cross to bear, unfortunately.
I think you're counting yourself short. I think you have the tools in place to earn that spot next season.
It's not in my department, and that is where the problem lies.
I think we could work on transferring departments then, because Everett, I think you deserve that. We need to get your hair on the national television like that.
I mean, my hair is on national television though.
Not like Hawks.
Not like Hawks. No, Hawks got into solo shots.
Why can't
I
you get a personal
camera.
windbreaker that says Everett takes on the back? Like, what the fuck, Tulane?
Let's say the Waterboy podcast on the back.
I mean, yeah, we can shout out the brand, but I was thinking more of a personal look just for you. But
I
yeah, we
should
could
just
also
get my
shout out the
own
brand.
camera. I should just get my own personal camera that follows me around.
No, I mean that's one of the better ideas you've had on this podcast so far. Yeah,
Might be the best idea I've had.
like an Everett cam. You know, like at the end of the day, who the hell cares about that Tyjae Spears dude? We're here to watch you. Maybe not. Okay. Maybe not. Do you have any other college football things?
No, I will have to figure out what we're gonna do for the preview of the Waterboy Civil War, as I will be in Dallas for the next episode that we have to record. And
Yeah,
the game
that'll be an interesting dilemma debacle of what's going to go on. But
Waterboy Civil War.
last comment I had in college football, Everett. So Ohio State's new quarterback commitment, Lincoln Keenholes, Keenholes. I butchered that. Whatever. Ohio State's new quarterback commitment recently said that Washington had a better NIL package than Ohio State. That's a tough pill to swallow for me, Everett. Just hearing that Washington had a better NIL deal than Ohio State.
Cardale
Are we talking Microsoft Bill Gates money here? What are we talking about here? What do we mean Washington has a better NIL deal than Ohio State?
Cardale really got to get on his shit. Like, how do you guys not have enough money to even compete with the Pac-12?
We can't compete with Washington. The Big Ten denied Washington from entering the conference. How the fuck we can't compete with them? Well, I mean, we did just compete with them, but they're out NILing us.
Like,
so how are we going to compete with Georgia?
I understand that like name brand. I understand name brand with Ohio State gets you some points, but you do realize that other schools, big powerhouses, Georgia, Bama, Texas.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you know, we can win the recruiting battle over Washington with the NFL track record, but we're not winning it over Bama and Georgia.
Like, you want to look at like our schools, like small, like look at us, like look at Tulane. We don't have a 5-star recruit yet, and we're going off of our name because we don't have that much NIL deal. Like look at how much that's getting us. Like it's gonna be Ohio State pretty damn soon.
Maybe, Everett, maybe. But that's all. That's was my quick comment on Ohio State NIL. We're getting outdone by Washington, which is not a great look. Not a great look. But okay, Everett, that's all I had on college football. I think it's about time to start talking about the real shit. Okay, Everett. Before we break down these games, start reacting a little bit, I had a stat for you. It involves both of our teams, actually. It's kind of funny. So going into last week, guess which two quarterbacks were the most pressured in the NFL?
Kirk Cousins and Matt Ryan.
So close with Matt Ryan. Kirk Cousins and Justin Herbert have been the most pressured quarterbacks.
Really?
Let me tell you how many times they've been pressured compared to the third most pressured quarterback, which is Matt Ryan, by the way. Good guess. Very good guess. Kirk Cousins going into this week, so not including last week's game, but going into this week, Kirk Cousins had been pressured 208 times. Herbert had been pressured 202 times. So both men have been pressured over 200 times. Matt Ryan, who was in third place, had only been pressured 167 times. So the gap between 2 and 3, Everett, 202 to 167. That's the gap. Okay. So Everett, we have the worst O-lines, the worst pass blocking. Well, my team can't run for shit. At least you have a Dalvin Cook, but we got the worst pass blocking O-lines in the league.
The thing is, like our tackles are both pretty good. Brian O'Neill hasn't had a great season, but the interior O-line is just so
and
bad.
that's like obviously the Chargers know Rashawn Slater had to replace him with a rookie guy who played
terrible.
Who isn't terrible, but it's been the interior line for the Chargers that's been awful. Fucking first round pick Zion Johnson one game he's great. The other game, you might as well not even have him out there on the field. It's just so hit or miss with these interior linemen. And I feel like when you're getting pressure off the edge, you at least have some space to evade, to evade some pressure. You have some time to maybe create some time with your legs if they're coming off the edge. But if they're coming up the middle, you got nowhere to run. There's nowhere to go. And it's like if you, I don't know. For example, when the Chargers go up against fucking Chris Jones and the fucking Chiefs, like, oh my God, motherfuckers running rampant. Like, it's not fun. It's not a fun time. You're not going to have a good time watching that game as a Chargers fan. You're not going to have a good time. And that's how I feel watching that interior line. But I heard that stat, Everett, and I was so appalled. I had to bring it up.
I mean, when you have a player on another team that just destroys your team every single time you face them, it can, cause some stress, some anxiety, some fear.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. And I'm not even talking about Patrick Mahomes yet. So
yeah, I was talking about Zadarius Smith against the Packers because we're.
I'm always thinking about the Chiefs, but yeah. Let's talk about the Vikings though.
All right. Okay.
Let's before we get to my positive, let's start with yours. Giants Vikings, Everett.
At this game, I would say the refs did a bit of a better job this week than the previous couple weeks. There were no plays in which I specifically thought, all right, this is going to change the way that the game is gone. So good job.
That's nice.
Considering for, I don't know, 9/10 of this season, there's been a couple plays per each game. The refs have just decided to power trip and declare that they're going to choose the winner of said game, or at least try their damn best to. So what I like to see is the Vikings offensive line was getting upfield a lot, especially on running plays. Like Ed Ingram was getting upfield for the first time I've ever seen him not trip our fucking quarterback. So props out to him. He did a pretty good job. Darrisaw was playing pretty good because he finally was back. Schlottman, our backup center, has been in for the last couple of weeks. Didn't play great. Didn't play as bad as I've seen him play. So props out to them. Second, like Justin Jefferson. I don't even know where to begin with Justin Jefferson. He's 209 yards away from breaking the record over the next 2 weeks, and can go for 2,000 yards on top of that if he gets a little extra there. TJ Hawkinson set the record for most receptions by a tight end in a game this season, most receptions by a tight end in Vikings history in a game. Had 2 touchdowns for the second time in his career. Greg Joseph kicked a career-long and Vikings record-long field goal to walk off the end of the game. My big problem
we both had some pretty good kicking luck this year. I mean, didn't mean to jinx us right there, but it's been pretty solid.
Greg Joseph was pretty bad for a stretch, and he kind of figured it out over the last couple of games. But the defense yesterday was, or not yesterday, in that game was pretty porous. And I was happy to see that we were getting more pressure. We were blitzing more, which seems to be productive. Daniel Hunter got 2 sacks for the first time in a couple of weeks, which is great. He's over 10 sacks now on the season. Patrick Peterson looked absolutely horrible. He was getting waxed by a no-name receiver that the Giants just picked up off of waivers from the Bills. Like, that should not be happening. If he's your number 1 cornerback on the day, that should not be happening. You should not be getting waxed by a no-name wide receiver. He got waxed by that dude, and then he got waxed by a completely different dude later in the game. And then he said he's having the best season he's ever had in his 12 years as being a player in the NFL. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that part, but
he let up 2 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure he let up 2 touchdowns. The interior D-line also was playing pretty well most of the game, but you can't let up Saquon on 4th and 5. They let up a Saquon Barkley 30-yard run for a touchdown to tie the game. And then Patrick Peterson lets up the 2-point conversion after that. Of course he does. So just interesting. I also think that Brian Asamoah has to get in a lot more. He got his forced fumble this week and fumble recovery. He should have had that first fumble 2 weeks ago, actually, when he stripped the ball not once but twice against the Colts and they got called back. So I think he's a bright spot. He's playing pretty well. Definitely better than Jordan Hicks. And every single time he's on the field, he's getting in on the plays. So he should be playing a lot more. I've been saying that all year. And once they actually unleashed him, he was playing pretty damn well. So all about definitely spots to improve upon, but definitely better than what it was last week. And the big thing is my saying is emotional wins lead to losses next week. They proved me wrong this week, and that's what I needed to see in order to have some confidence with them going in the playoffs.
So coming up, rest of the year Vikings. You guys got Packers
at Bears,
and at Bears. So we're obviously gonna have to see how the end of the year plays out with how the Niners and Eagles finish down the stretch. But the Eagles just lose.
If the Eagles lose again, the Vikings will be
if the
playing.
Eagles will have to lose out and the Vikings win out to get the 1 seed.
If the Eagles lose next week, because their game will be before the Vikings game, then we'll know
if the Eagles win next week, though,
then it's sealed.
Are you still playing for the 2
This
seed?
is the thing. We're gonna know whether or not beforehand if the Eagles won or not and seal that first seed. So then it's up to Kevin O'Connell if he wants to battle for the 2nd seed or just not really care and put in some backups or rest some players intermittently like he did last week and just play for whatever, because we can't be lower than the 3 seed. So it'll be interesting what ends up happening with the 49ers. I don't know what the 49ers schedule is for the rest of the season, because I believe if they lose once, then they're out and the Vikings clinch it. It'd be ideal for that last week of the season, at least against the Bears, to rest all of our starters. But we'll see. I still want Justin Jefferson to go for the record regardless. And then once he gets it, he can be done for the year. But that's ultimately up to him and his decision to make. But yeah, like I said, ultimately, I think the Eagles are going to end up winning one of these last 2 games. So I wouldn't be super concerned. It comes down to whether or not the 49ers lose, and I don't know who they play.
Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting thing to watch develop over the stretch of the year. I do think, though, Justin Jefferson, the way he's been playing, definitely winning Offensive Player of the Year. Maybe should even get 1 or 2 MVP looks. What do you think about that?
I think that he deserves it. I'm not going to lie. I think that
I do think this season, if there's any team that has, like, if there's been one player that has gotten a team to a certain record over anyone else, I think it's Justin Jefferson.
I would say
getting the Vikings
to Justin Jefferson. I think that
win.
The problem is wide receiver. I don't know if a wide receiver has won the MVP.
I'm not sure if they've ever won the MVP.
I don't know if they ever have. So having a wide receiver, especially now when it's a quarterback award, like predominantly a quarterback award, like the last non-quarterback to win it was Adrian.
Yeah, no wide receiver has ever won MVP. So Justin Jefferson's not going to win MVP.
I mean, the problem is Cooper Kupp didn't win it last year. Who's going to win it this? Like, how would?
Yeah, no, that is a good example. That is a good. Who the fuck won MVP last year? Aaron.
Yeah, again for whatever fucking reason. Even though Tom Brady had a better season than him. I think that Justin Jefferson should deserve to be in the MVP conversation if he breaks that record, especially if he reaches 2,000 yards, which would be the first time a wide receiver has ever reached 2,000 yards. Like, if that's the case, you can't not consider him for the MVP. Like, him winning Offensive Player of the Year better already be a shoo-in at this point. It should now be an argument of whether or not he deserves an MVP consideration, which honestly, I think he does. Like,
I just do think, though, outside of
Patrick
he has
Mahomes,
gotten them. He has helped get the Vikings to their record more than any other team has.
But also, outside of Patrick Mahomes, who else is in MVP conversation right now?
And so Jalen Hurts, you can't say anymore after he's been injured. Maybe Joe Burrow can get some looks. I guess no Josh Allen, right? I don't know.
I don't think so. No.
I'll be honest. I really don't keep up with the MVP
Patrick
talk.
Mahomes. People will argue for Jalen Hurts,
but no one on the Niners, no one on the Cowboys. No one on the Eagles now that Hurts is out.
So it's like, just look at Justin Jefferson. He's played every single game this season.
It's definitely like Mahomes is just gonna get it. Like, I mean, in my opinion, Joe Burrow should get it this year
over Justin Jefferson.
Like, well,
After you've been
If we're
arguing,
gonna give it to quarterbacks, I would give it to Joe Burrow over Mahomes just because like he had no Jamar Chase. All the complaints his
he
first
beat
year
the
was
Chiefs
like,
too.
look how shit he is without like a good receipt. Like he needs Jamar Chase. Motherfucker's 18-3 against the spread in his last 21, Everett.
At least he's the better's MVP.
You know, I mean, he at least he gets wins for some people on Sundays.
Great quarterbacks win greater quarter.
Yeah, I think we can tell the MVP voters aren't hitting the hitting the fucking lines
All
before
right,
the
so
games.
this Chargers game too, by the way, we can get into this. Just finished. Is there anything specific, your immediate reactions to the Chargers game that you want to cover?
So other than the game itself, I think it's just very nice to get Justin Herbert his first playoff appearance officially. I think this year, when we look at this year in general, start of the season, obviously very high expectations for the Chargers, of course, like
Yeah,
every year. Then after, I don't know, 5 snaps, the injuries start pouring in, and
as
they've been banged up since they have not had their full preseason roster all playing together for a single game all season. Has not been a single game where every single person has been healthy. Uh, JC Jackson out for the year, Rashawn Slater out for the year. Joey Bosa was supposed to be out for a month. Apparently, he's going to start practicing again this week, but he hasn't played since like week 3. Okay. So Bosa's been out for just years. Derwin's been vintage Derwin, and he hits the fucking DL every other week. And it's just a constant revolving door. And then, of course, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams have been very unhealthy all year, and Corey Linsley's been juggling in and out. So all the star guys have just had injury. Oh yeah, and then Justin Herbert's broke his ribs in week 2. So yeah, there's been a lot of injury concerns all
puncture a
year.
lung too.
No, that was Tyrod.
No, no, I know
That
that.
was the team physician.
No, I know that, but I thought like he had some like cartilage tear in his lung or something like that from like
Maybe fuck it. Let's just say he had that too to just add more insult to injury, literally. But yeah, the Chargers have finally gotten some of their pieces back and to 100%. So I think this was the third week that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were both healthy and available for the entire game. This is the third game this season where Herbert's had his best weapons. And we're going to get into your wide receiver duo rankings either, but according to you, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams aren't a top wide receiver duo in the league. So I'm not even sure how much credit you're going to give.
no, they are. They are a top wide receiver duo.
Oh, okay.
They're just not a top 5 wide
but
receiver.
they're not. Well, they're now back, and Herbert today. Oh my God, the throws to Keenan, Mike Williams. It's not like he was making impressive throws. It was more so just how fucking open these receivers were. And it was like, God damn it, they needed that all year, and they just haven't had it. But the fact that they're
Still
sitting
think
at
though that they
9-6
should
right
Brandon
now,
Staley?
Everett, it is nuts. It's nuts.
You think they should still keep Brandon Staley? Because otherwise, Sean Payton's off to the Broncos. To be honest,
So this is the thing: the Staley sweepstakes have been ramping up. Apparently, Sean or not Staley sweepstakes, the Sean Payton sweepstakes have been ramping up. Apparently, Sean Payton has contacted Vic Fangio to be his defensive coordinator for next season. He's already assembling the boys. He's
you
already
know,
getting the guys together, Everett.
you know where
And I
Vic
swear to fucking
Fangio.
God, if he's not coaching the Los Angeles Chargers, Everett, oh my God. Oh
No,
my
I'm not
God.
gonna lie. Him getting Vic Fangio on his
I'm not
staff.
sure how hyped I am about that, but
Well,
like,
let me finish. That. He was a good DC, to be fair. But I think that makes it nearly impossible for the Broncos to hire him.
yeah,
You can't have
Fangio
you can't
fucking
have
hates the Broncos.
well, there's that, but also you can't have a former head coach literally from 2 years ago in the building 2 years later and expect one, everybody to treat him not like the head coach, and two, have all the pre-existent stuff in there that people disliked him or liked him, whatever, and have
He
that.
definitely hates John Elway's guts. I mean,
John Elway's not GM anymore.
still hates him. Still affiliated with the Broncos.
Fair. It's a fair point.
Associated by nature, Everett. Duh. But
I know you were
no,
working.
I want Sean Payton back. I'm not acting like Staley's. I mean, we played the 4-9-1 Colts and Jeff Saturday. Staley should be winning that game. Like,
I know you had a list of worst head coaches this year. I don't know if that's completed yet, but if it is, this would be a good
I don't have a list of only head coaches. I have a list of coaches in general. I could probably modify it to just the head coaches, but I also want to take jabs at some other position / coordinators. So I have my top 10 worst NFL coach list. Maybe it's time to whip that out. Well, I was going to say that for the Broncos Rams game, but there's nothing to talk about that other than Nathaniel Hackett just got fired. So, okay, time to whip out. These are the top 10 worst coaching performances of 2022. Matt Ruley, Nathaniel Hackett, Frank Reich, Matt Patricia, Ed Donatel, Josh McDaniels, Cliff Kingsbury, Todd Bowles, Dennis Allen, and Lovie Smith. Sorry, Lovie. But those are the top 10 worst coaching performances of 2022 so far. Well, no, 2022. Fuck it. Just stands like that. I really try to get Urban in there, but he was fired in 2021. So he did not qualify for the list.
No, hold on. What about Ryan Day?
This is an NFL list.
Oh,
if
okay.
college coaches were included, number one's Alex Grinch. Number two's Al Washington. Number three, Matt Ruley. He fucking sucks. It's still Matt Ruley at 3. Number 4,
still Nathaniel Hackett. I'd still put Nathaniel Hackett there.
Nathaniel Hackett can take the 4 spot, but at number 5, I think I'd have to clap back with
Josh McDaniels should also be in there.
Fuck. This is fuck. Now I think about it, it's way easier for me to do the top 10 overachieving performances for college football coaches. It's way easier to do that.
I know who should number.
And I'm throwing James Franklin on the overachiever list, by the way, but that's not
who number one should be. I know who number 1 should be, but come on now.
No, I know. But I think there's a solid debate for Jim Harbaugh being the number 1 most overachiever of the year.
But it's overachiever. Like they were expected to do that well outside of that one game.
I'm not sure how many, like preseason, not everyone was saying I was saying they were going to go 11-0 going to the game all year. But I don't think everyone else, but okay. You know, we're spending too much time on this. I gave you guys my top 10 worst coaching performances. There you go. But okay, my quick comments on the Chargers game itself. This was the best defensive performance I've seen from the guys all year. And I know that Big Dick Nick was playing. I know there was no Jonathan Taylor. I know. But I've seen this team make the fucking Houston Texans look like the greatest show on turf, okay? I've seen this team make Marcus Mariota look like an NFL quarterback at times this season, okay? So to watch them actually do what they're supposed to do is a very pleasant thing to watch ever. They've done it 3. Well, against the Dolphins, I didn't expect them to do what they did, but against the Titans, I expected them to do what they did last week. So it's been 2 weeks straight of fulfilling expectations.
Yeah, you want to also know what's funny is you said this earlier, but this is a tweet directly from Vikings Twitter.
Okay.
Once heard the Chargers
Vikings Twitter. Wait.
Yeah. And the tweet
like a Twitter account called Vikings Twitter? Are you talking about the realm of Vikings Twitter?
Realm of Vikings Twitter.
Got it.
The tweet is, once heard the Chargers called the AFC Vikings, and nothing has ever been more true in the world.
It's pretty fucking true. We are the AFC Vikings. Like, we have fucking eerily similar football teams when it comes to the National Football League. It's kind of funny, not gonna lie.
And media outlook and on our teams.
No, but like I'm pretty sure this was the second double-digit win of the Chargers this season. I'm not gonna fact check that right now. That's just coming off the top of the dome. I just cannot believe that the Chargers are 9-6 and we have clinched the playoffs, and it is December 26th. Best Christmas present ever.
pretty damn good.
It doesn't get better than this.
All right.
But yeah, best defensive performance. Herbert didn't even look that great, but yeah, seeing Keenan Mike Williams
Why
back.
don't we because I gotta get back here and I'm frankly exhausted. Why don't we wrap up the epi with the episode with my top 10
Real before I have one last game that I just want your one quick opinion. Okay. Everett, maybe not the greatest start to your Christmas morning, but the Packers take down the Dolphins, move on to 7-8. Dolphins fall to 8-7. Dolphins have lost 4 straight now. They were 8-3 at one point.
I think Tua saw that snow before the game in Miami somehow, and he just, I mean, everything.
So, this is my theory. So Tua, suddenly today was thrown in the concussion protocol.
He's done for the season.
Putting that in peril. His game status for the upcoming weeks. Now, to me, I don't really recognize many concussion-inducing plays against the Packers. Is this Mike McDaniel's benching Tua for the end of the year, protecting Tua and his psyche from further damage? Because if he goes out next week and the Dolphins, I don't know who they play, but God forbid they lose to like the fucking Texans. Oh my God, Tua, you'd have to retire. You'd have to retire. You have to hang up the cleats. Is this Mike McDaniel's protecting Tua long term and his emotions?
I mean, it could very well be. I'm not gonna lie.
So they get the Patriots and Jets to end the year, and they're going to New England next week. And the Patriots haven't looked great, but I mean,
Mike McDaniel seems like the kind of guy that would do that because he does care about his players a lot. They are fighting for a playoff spot though, right? So it is kind of interesting. I think Teddy Bridgewater is back. So obviously Teddy Two Gloves is a pretty capable quarterback.
Who was their quarterback when you beat them?
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, can't go to him.
No. So, I mean, it's definitely plausible. I do think that Tua is just chronically gets concussions. He did throw a ball straight to a Packers defender in that game. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Three balls straight to Packers
straight to them, or it was like
straight to them. Yeah.
So he could have been concussed. It's a possibility. But yeah, so I mean, it's definitely interesting, but I feel like I think he's actually concussed. Probably isn't any better.
Maybe he is. Maybe he is actually concussed either way. The fall from grace for the Miami Dolphins. Remember Tua Fingers game, like week 4? That was so long ago. And then they just started winning and winning and winning. And then the Chargers just ended their season 2 weeks ago. Ooh, man, shit. It's a tough league out here. Grown man's league. Let me remind you guys, grown man's league out here. But yeah, those are my quick comments. Dolphins are in shambles. Chargers, we're in the fucking playoffs.
Let me run through my wide receiver duos and then my power rankings, and we'll wrap it with that.
I'm gonna save my top 10 best rookies for next week. Next episode. I think that one's gonna twist some feathers, ruffle some feathers, purple some nurples, you know. It'll rile up the crowd. But Everett, I want to end off with the power rankings. So let's start with the other list first.
All right, let me hydrate the body. All right. Here are the top wide receiver duos of 2022. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Deontay Johnson, and George Pickens.
So I feel like one name on there that maybe was overlooked was Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow, but that's okay. That's okay. The list has been made. It has been published. It has been sent to the editors. And it
Hunter
is
Renfro
fine. It
has
is being finalized and under
Hunter
review.
Renfro didn't play for 2/3 of this season, 3/4 of the season.
Well, neither did Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, but hey, you're gonna
Hunter
have to
Renfro
debate that
has
one with the Raiders fans, my friend. That is not up for me. That is up for you to argue. But I'm not too far against all that, even though I do think AJ Brown and Smitty got a little more love than they should have got for that list. I'm surprised you gave the Eagles guys that much love. I don't think
Well,
Smitty's
I'm already
fucking
gonna
good,
get
but
crucified. I'm already gonna get just murdered for
we don't care. We don't care what
them
Eagles
at 4.
fans think, Everett. Do you? When was the last time you cared what an
Oh,
Eagles
never,
thought?
never. You know how much I
Sounds
care?
like you might care a little bit from what you just told me.
Oh no, no, no. It's just the amount of
So
black.
rank them 15th.
Okay, fine with me. We put them at 15. Put Devontae
You put
Adams
them fourth.
and
Showed them a lot
put
of love.
Devontae Adams and
Surprised how
Hunter
much
Renfro.
love you showed them. Surprised how much love you showed them.
I do think that you're playing pretty well though.
But that's all I had to say. But all right. Let's hear the most accurate power rankings after Christmas.
All right, here are the NFL power rankings after week 16, after Christmas weekend. Bills, 49ers, Eagles, Bengals, Vikings, Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, Ravens, Dolphins.
It brings me great joy that you finally admitted that my Bolts are better than the Dolphins. I'll take the 8 spot. I'll take the fucking 8 seed.
One spot higher than you were last week.
Hey, I mean, it's progression. I mean, we're moving up, not down. We're trending upwards, not downwards. So I can't complain that hard. My one thing for you is last week, my question here is you going the Vikings up 2 spot after last week's performance rather than after 2 weeks ago's performance against the Colts. Was it this week that sold you like on the defense? Like, do you think that's a little bit better? Or is it just seeing another close win where it's
I said last week I needed to see the defense improve, and I did see the defense continue at least blitzing and doing the pressure stuff. There's obviously other things the defense needs to do better in that they didn't fix this week. My big thing is I wanted to see how
I'm noticing Daniel Jones might have had the most passing yards he's ever thrown in an NFL game.
Our secondary is some boo-boo cheeks. I know that.
I've been hearing that Andrew Booth has been one of the worst corners in the NFL.
Yep, he's one of the worst corners in the NFL, and I don't believe he's playing
Clemson. Anymore. What can I tell you?
He's on IR now.
Probably a good thing.
So here's the deal: is
we don't root for injuries, but
and your guy Cam Dantzler Sr.'s been out for a couple games too, so that doesn't help. I wanted to see how
that's gonna sting.
I wanted to see how they answered back from that emotional win. I wanted to see if they can put everything aside and just go back and win this next week versus a team that's been playing pretty well this year and would be prepped to win this week because they needed it to get in the playoffs. So playing when things matter, when things are on the line. And they answered that call. I mean, they made it pretty damn close, to be fair, but they did answer that call. The Vikings offense hadn't been playing well, and they woke up late to come and win that game. Defense was some ass, but I mean, they still managed to stop them when they
got some stops when they had to.
So
got some stops when necessary.
Yeah, so I think they deserve to be a top 5 team. I just don't think that they deserve to be higher than 5, that we deserve to be higher than 5 right now, just by the basis of defense is still bad. And that might lose you a playoff game. The offense has been stagnant at times, especially over the last 2-ish weeks. So if they play,
I'm just very excited to see Chiefs fans coming for your neck.
Oh yeah,
I post that one, but
I mean, I we'll see how they do over the next 2 weeks in enemy territory out in the cold, and if they can keep playing well, if they fix everything, awesome, they can be higher. But if not, it's not gonna get there. Playoff football is a completely different beast than these games.
Yeah. So Speaking of ragging on the Dolphins, this was the first winless December for the Dolphins since 1993.
Packers also have, I believe, a
15 straight wins in December. I think Matt LaFleur is undefeated.
Yeah, it's about to end next week.
Well, next week you guys are playing in January.
No, it would. Oh, will it actually be?
It'd be New Year's Day, Everett. So you won't be playing in December.
Damn, it would
Can't
nice.
break that record, sucker.
Real nice to be able to do that.
We're gonna have to wait till 2023 to continue this story.
If we even get a game then.
What do you mean by that?
In December? If we play them in December.
No. I'm saying 2023, we'll see the Packers 15 game. I was talking about a Packers Vikings December game, but yeah, the 15 game streak.
We can at least knock them out of the playoffs next week.
I know that no one will remember this stat at all. And it'll be December next year, and it'll be like, oh, remember fucking LaFleur is 15-0 in December. It's like, all right, who the fuck?
All right, okay.
It's definitely gonna be snapped next year. I think this is the off season, or not off season, but this will be hyped up come Thanksgiving 2023. It'll be hyped up.
And they'll lose on December 1st next year. I don't know what date, December 1st.
Yeah, maybe it lines up like that, but yeah, that's
all right.
That's gonna fucking do it, folks.
So much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. I hope you spread the love.
Rate us 6 stars. Fuck a 5-star. Rate us 6 stars. Download the podcast. Rate the podcast. Like the podcast. Share the podcast.
Follow us at Waterboy Pod.
Subscribe to us. Follow us. Share us to your grandparents. Share us to your godparents.
My thing. Let me have my.
Share us to your nephew. Share us to your niece. Share us to your aunt. Oh, okay. I'll let you.
My thing. Man, I just want
some more gusto out of you at the end. All right, Everett. We talked about the shit
for 12 hours.
We talked about the shit that I canceled before this. All right, and you know what?
I thought I put up a pretty solid performance today. Outside,
I mean, when you started off that closing, Everett, I wanted. If I was a viewer, I would have clicked off the podcast.
All right, shut up. Shut up. I don't care. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Well, I do.
5 stars. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and on YouTube at Waterboy Pod. Make sure to spread the love. Share us with your grandparents, your family members, anybody that you are seeing recently with the holidays. Have an amazing New Year's if you don't hear from us between now and then. Waterboy's out.